Hello, everybody, and I would like to thank my wonderful subscribers.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Mr. Nightmare reaction. And today, we are going to be watching 4 disturbing true Catfish horror stories. As you can tell, I am a teenager and not an adult, so I've never used Tinder or I can't name another app like that. Tinder. I've never used a dating app, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I have never been catfished in any way. But these people have, and apparently, to them, it was horrifying enough to warrant a story on Mr. Nightmare. So yeah. Not much else to say. Let's just get into it right now. Let's do this shit. Let's see who these guys got catfished from, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Story 1 by Albert Frost.
I matched with this woman on Bumble last spring.
Oh, Bumble
and to this
one.
day, I still don't know who I actually met that night.
What do you mean?
Her name on the app was Rachel.
Yeah?
She looked normal in her pictures. Nothing crazy or overly edited. Just a cute brunette who worked in marketing and liked hiking.
Ooh-hoo-hoo.
We talked for a few days, and she seemed down to earth. No weird messages or vibes.
Well,
She
you
didn't
can
push
never
for
tell
anything,
after
she actually
one
wanted
meeting.
to go slow. Honestly, it felt refreshing compared to the other matches.
Okay.
After about a week of talking, we agreed to meet up for dinner on a Wednesday night. She picked a restaurant in a quiet part of town. A little nicer than the places I usually go, but nothing too crazy.
Okay.
When I got there, I texted her that I parked. She didn't answer.
Let me tell you, you're not gonna
I
meet
waited at
her.
the entrance, checking my phone every couple minutes. 10 minutes went by, then 20. I thought maybe she got stuck in traffic.
Nope.
I messaged again, saying I was inside by the hostess stand.
What did she
I started
say?
getting a little embarrassed. It looked like I was getting stood up. The hostess asked if I wanted a table, and I told her I was waiting for someone. She told me no one under the name Rachel had checked in.
Whoa.
Now 30 minutes passed,
Big
and I was about to
embarrassing
leave,
now.
when a guy came in and walked straight up to me.
No.
He was maybe mid-40s. Scruffy, kind of heavy, wearing a black hoodie.
Who are you?
He asked me if I was Jake.
No.
My name wasn't on the reservation, so it caught me off guard. I told him yes, and he
Okay.
said he was Rachel's brother. He told me Rachel wasn't feeling well, but she still wanted to meet me.
What?
She asked him to pick me up and bring me to their place,
No.
since it was really close and she didn't want to cancel.
I want to hear
The
her
whole
say
thing
it.
already sounded weird, and I asked why she didn't text me that.
Yeah.
He said she tried, but her phone died, and she didn't really want to bail on our
No,
date.
bullshit.
His tone was calm and polite, and he didn't seem aggressive or anything, but this was just a little off.
Yeah, no.
I asked where she lived, and he said just a few blocks over. And
Okay.
that driving would be easier because the sidewalks were icy.
Okay, how did
I
that
stood there
work?
debating it. A part of me felt like a jerk if I refused. Like maybe she
Heck
really was
yeah.
sick and embarrassed. But the other part of me felt like nothing about this was normal.
What do you mean, shit and embarrassed? What, did they come up with 2 excuses? If she is sick, the best thing we should do is wait for her to get better, and then we could go on a date. I don't want to come over to her when she's sick and not feeling well. Then, it won't be a normal date. What? No. No, I'm not into that thing.
I told him I was fine
Yeah.
walking. I asked for the address. He said it would be better if he showed me. That's when
Why?
something in my stomach told me not to go.
Yeah, no.
I told
Why?
him I'd rather reschedule, and I started walking toward the door.
Yeah.
He stepped in front of me.
No.
Not aggressively, but just enough to block my path.
Nope.
He said Rachel would be upset, and
I
that
don't
she
give a
specifically
shit.
asked him to bring me. I told him I'd text her later.
Yeah.
He stared at me for a few seconds.
What?
Then stepped aside and said, "Have a good night," in a tone that sounded more like a warning than anything else.
No, you're
I
weird.
left the restaurant fast and got into my car. I locked the doors immediately.
Yeah.
As I pulled out of the parking space,
What?
I saw
You
him
saw
standing
him.
outside the restaurant watching me.
Shit.
I drove away thinking that was the end of it, and maybe it was just some weird misunderstanding.
Nope, it never
Later
the end
that
of
night,
it in
around
Mr.
11
Nightmare
p.m.,
Land.
my phone buzzed. It was
Was
a
it
message
her?
on Bumble from Rachel's profile.
Okay.
It said, "Why didn't you come?"
Okay.
I replied that her brother came to the restaurant and told me she was sick. She answered instantly, saying she didn't have a brother.
What?
All I could think was, what?
Okay.
I told her exactly what happened.
Okay. So, maybe this isn't a setup? Because I kind of assumed that since, you know, I kind of thought they were connected. Like, the person who is Rachel and the person who is her brother were working together, but maybe they aren't. Because what if this guy just took somebody's phone and then used it to try to find me, and then he would then, I don't know, kidnap me? I don't know. Yeah, see what happened though.
She stopped responding. I figured maybe she was freaked out too.
Nope.
I tried to sleep after that.
I don't think
but
so
around 1
anymore.
a.m., I got a notification that someone was trying to log into my email, then my bank app, and then my Instagram, all within minutes of each other. I changed my passwords and turned on every security feature I could.
Yeah.
I didn't quite connect it to Rachel's situation at first. The
That's
next morning,
awful.
I
How
checked
did they
Bumble
do
to see
that?
if she had replied, but her profile was gone.
Yeah.
Completely deleted.
Yeah.
Around noon, I got a text from an unknown number.
Who?
It said, "You should have come with me."
Why?
I showed the text to my roommate, and he told me to block the number and report it.
Yeah.
I blocked it, but the messages didn't stop. New numbers kept texting me.
Go to
Different
the
area
police.
codes. Each message was something short and vague, like, "We saw you. Next time, don't waste my time."
What do you
And
mean?
"You made it harder for yourself."
What were you
At
gonna
one
do?
point, a message came through that used my full name. Not the name I used on Bumble. My real legal name.
Okay.
I didn't answer any of them.
Was
That
Jake
night,
not
while
your
I was
real
home
name?
alone, someone knocked on my apartment door.
Call the police.
I was on the couch, and I could not move. After a minute of silence, there was another knock.
Okay.
Harder this time. I thought about calling the police,
Yes.
but it had only been 2 knocks, and I didn't want to sound paranoid. I looked through the peephole.
God.
No one was there.
Ah.
The hallway was empty. I stepped back and waited. After a few seconds, I heard heavy footsteps walking down the stairs.
Okay.
The next day, I called the restaurant and asked if anyone matching that guy's description had a reservation or had checked in around the time I was there.
What do you mean?
They said no. I asked if anyone had been standing around outside looking in, maybe waiting for someone. The hostess told me one of their servers actually mentioned a man in a hoodie pacing back and forth outside for almost an hour before.
Are you asking the staff about a customer like 2 nights earlier? Because I have to assume that it's been at least 2 nights, right? It's been 2 nights. There is no way they would remember who it is. Right? Because if I worked at a restaurant, as soon as they have been served, they would blank out of my memory. They would not
Before I
exist
arrived,
to me.
She said they thought he was waiting for someone, but he never went inside until he walked directly up to me.
Yeah.
I didn't
Sleepy.
tell her the rest. I felt sick
Call
thinking
the
how long he
police.
had been watching the entrance. I reached out to the local police
Yeah.
and gave them the number that had texted me
Okay.
first. They weren't able to trace it to anyone.
God damn it,
And since
okay.
no crime had technically been committed, according to them,
What?
they couldn't do much. I deleted Bumble.
God damn.
I changed my phone number, and I changed all my passwords. Things were quiet for about a week.
Okay.
Then, one night when I was taking the trash out behind my apartment
No.
building, I found a folded piece of paper shoved under the handle of the dumpster. It had my name on it. I opened it. Inside was a printed photo of me from the night of the supposed date.
Okay.
Me standing inside the restaurant lobby looking at my phone. The angle was from outside the window.
Oh,
Someone had
God.
watched me the entire time.
Yeah?
On the back of the photo, it said, "You." I couldn't sleep for
Okay.
days. I started staying at friends' houses. Every little sound made my heart jump. A few days later, I checked the dumpster again
What?
and found nothing.
Okay.
I became really hyper aware of my surroundings.
That's a good thing.
Eventually, the messages and everything stopped.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just stopped showing themselves to me. Maybe they were still watching. The only thing I know is that the person I met that night was not Rachel's brother.
Yeah.
Because Rachel didn't exist. Someone made the entire profile from scratch.
Yeah.
Someone created her just to lure somebody somewhere. Someone was expecting me to leave that restaurant with them.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that I still don't know who he was.
Yeah.
I have not been on a dating app since. I feel like I was supposed to disappear that night, and the only reason I didn't was because I trusted my gut at the last second.
Yeah. I mean, that's not really yuck. It's really just like being smart. Right? If this was an ideal situation, everybody would have done that. But, yeah. That was good. I feel like we don't know how many people are involved. But if I had to guess, it was only... Man, the weird part is... Here's the weird part to me. Let's say that this is two people. Yeah, two people, maybe one person. The issue with it is that if they are both in cahoots, if both of them are in cahoots, then why would Rachel say that she didn't have a brother? Yeah, why? And that would only ruin the story. That would only make it harder to believe any of this. So I have to assume that there are two people involved somehow. One person who's using the app, and the other person who is the boy. The boy said he was the brother. The person here said, no, we're not. So, how are they related? I don't know. But apparently, the person here deleted the account. And if I had to guess, the person who is doing all the actual work is the man who going outside, he's taking photos, he may be leaving them. I don't know. Either the two people, maybe Rachel is real, but somebody took her phone. If I had to guess, I do not think that there's an actual woman involved. Because if Rachel was a real person who they were working with, why wouldn't... Oh shit, wait. Why wouldn't they just get Rachel to come in? Let me tell you, as young as Adele is kind of pretty, she will be a decent enough lure to a man, okay? Doesn't have to be a brunette. It could be blonde. It could be redhead. Somebody is gonna want them, okay? Enough to be kidnapped. But you know what I think is hilarious? Nothing happened at the end, So, these people were apparently, they were so upset that we did not let ourselves be kidnapped, that they literally decided to hate us and message us as if we did something wrong. All we did was avoid a kidnapping attempt, and they're pissy about it. They're why didn't you let us kidnap you? I'm gonna stalk you and I'm gonna creep you out. What? You can't do that. You are criminals. Okay, but this is story number 2 by Mike. Do this.
After turning 30 years old back in January, I started getting sick of being single.
Damn.
I hadn't been in a real relationship in several years, and I wanted to get back
you
out
don't
there.
have to
I
get
had
in
always
one.
resisted online dating, but I eventually decided to bite the bullet and download the dating app Hinge. After a few days of using the app, I did end up with several matches.
Yeah.
But none of them ever amounted to anything.
Yeah.
One Monday night, I was chilling at home watching hockey when I got a phone notification from Hinge.
Okay.
Saying that I had matched with a girl named Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Her profile looked legit.
How
She
do
had
you
a
know
photo of
that?
herself at her job, a short video of her and her friends at a bar shooting darts,
Okay.
a picture of her at an outdoor concert, and a regular selfie of just her face.
That
I thought she was
seems
very attractive,
real.
so I messaged her. Before long, we were having a nice conversation about our
Aww.
respective jobs and hobbies.
What is it?
She seemed cool
What's
and normal,
yours?
so I asked her if she wanted to meet at a local arcade bar that Friday. She took a while to respond,
Okay.
something like 4 hours.
Dang, okay.
At about 1 a.m., she finally got back to me and agreed to the date.
Yay!
After our plans were set, I didn't hear from her at all for 4 days.
Damn.
Until literally 30 minutes before our date.
I mean, I
She
guess.
sent a text that just said, "On my way," at our agreed upon time. I pulled up to the bar and was immediately surprised by how slow the place looked. This was a Friday at 8 p.m., and this bar only had 2 cars in their parking lot. I pulled into a spot right by the front sign of the bar.
That's
Mere
good.
seconds after I put my car in park, I got a text from Rebecca saying that she was having car trouble and that she was parking on the other side of the bar.
Okay.
This immediately struck me as super suspicious,
Yeah.
since the other side of the bar was nothing but a few dumpsters and a fence that separated the bar from the woods.
Wait, that
it
is
didn't make
weird.
any sense how she would even end up back there.
Shit, what
I
does
tried
that
calling
mean?
her, but after one ring, it went to voicemail.
Okay. Keep
I hung up
texting
and
her.
immediately received another text from her that said, "Please just come around back and help with my car."
No, that's the
Alarms were
word.
going off in my head, but I wasn't immediately sure what to do. I sent her a text that just said, "This doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
I'm leaving."
Well,
I
okay,
know
that's
that
a
sounds
bit
a little
much.
dumb in retrospect, but I was seriously unsure of how to handle the situation.
I mean, you don't go back there.
After sending her the text, I put my car in reverse and started leaving the parking lot. As soon as I was about to turn off the lot,
What?
2 men in ski masks came running out from behind the bar
Shit.
straight towards my car.
Okay,
They didn't
yeah.
appear to be holding any kind of weapon, but I was definitely not going to wait around any longer to find out. I
Dumbasses.
sped off all the way back to my apartment. Once I got back home, I noticed that there was a big dent on the top of my car's trunk,
Shit.
as if one of the guys had thrown a large rock at my car as I was speeding off.
Probably.
I didn't even notice a heavy object hitting my car. That's how scared I was in the moment.
That's
I
good.
called the police
It's
and told them the whole
adrenaline.
story, but at the end of the day, there wasn't much they could really
Yeah.
do. They said they would keep me posted if any leads came up, whatever that means.
What about
But I haven't heard
the
back from them.
profile?
Weirdly, this didn't totally scare me off dating apps,
Yeah.
since I figured the odds of that happening again are very slim.
Yeah.
Still, I'm much more careful about meeting people off of them, and I make sure to call or FaceTime women before meeting them.
Good habit, good habit. Man. So, apparently, most kidnappers are men. That's weird, right? All they would have needed for their plan to work is a woman, I think. Think about it. Imagine that they actually did have a friend named Rebecca. All that friend would have had to do was go on a date with him for a couple hours, and then Rebecca would just have to say, "Hey, would you like to come over to my place sometime? Maybe tonight?" And then, as soon as, as soon as, we go into the parking lot or maybe outside, all the 2 men would have to do is ambush him. And then, Rebecca could even, get him with, maybe pepper spray or something. And then, he would have been totally defeated, So it's really weird that, none of these kidnappers are women. Right? Isn't that weird? But they're kidnapping men, too. So, male kidnappers are kidnapping men. So, either all kidnappers are gay, or all kidnappers are going to sell the men to a sex slave ring. I don't know, I don't think enough people have access to that industry. What? But okay, watch story number 3 by Mila. Damn. Okay, there's a woman, I think.
I still remember that stretch of 2024 like it was yesterday.
Okay.
Humid city nights, cramped condo living, and the constant hum of anxiety sitting in my chest because the board exam was only a few months away.
Oh.
I was staying in a small condominium in the city with my 3 friends.
Condominium.
All of us were buried in review materials, practice exams, and the occasional emotional breakdown disguised as a coffee break. And
Wow.
like every other stressed out 20-something stuck between obligation and burnout, I thought it would be a great idea to distract myself with someone new.
Why?
That's when I met him. Let's call him Michael.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the boredom, the loneliness, or just the fact that I was tired of thinking about formulas, but I found him attractive right away. He was charming in the beginning. Calm, funny, the type of guy who replied fast, but not too fast. It was as if he mastered the perfect balance of interest and chill.
He has.
We started talking every day, and then every night. And before I could fully process what I was doing, we were dating.
Not
or
the
at
best
least something
idea.
that felt like dating. Michael was, at first, everything a sane person would want. Respectful, attentive, a good conversationalist.
Yeah.
We would be on calls
A
for
picked up
hours while I
artist?
lay on my thin condo mattress, staring at the ceiling and listening to his voice fill the room.
Wow.
The only weird thing was that he never showed his face during our calls.
Yeah.
He claimed his phone had been stolen, and the laptop he was using didn't have a functioning camera. I didn't question it at first, but slowly, little red flags began popping up like notifications I kept swiping away.
Really?
The biggest one? The way his tone changed whenever the topic got even remotely intimate.
How?
Out of nowhere, this man would ask me for explicit selfies.
No.
Every single time.
Really?
I shut it down firmly every time. I wasn't comfortable with that, especially online. I told him that straight. But it was like talking to a dog in heat.
Ew.
No, scratch that. A dog in heat at least has the excuse of being an animal. This guy, he was worse.
How?
Because he knew exactly what he was doing. We'd argue about it a lot.
Why?
He'd push, I'd refuse, and he'd sulk. Sometimes he'd apologize.
Sometimes
he'd
not.
respect my boundaries, only to ask again the next day
God.
like we didn't just fight about the same thing. The cycle became exhausting.
Well,
And
why
yet,
did you keep doing
despite
it?
all of that, I still wanted to meet him in person.
Oh my
To
god.
see if this connection was real, or if I was just romanticizing a voice on the other end of a screen. But every time, and I mean every time I suggested meeting up, he had an excuse.
Yeah, no, these are
He
red
had
flags.
errands, he was busy, he didn't feel well, his schedule was full, he wasn't
Yeah,
in the
well.
city, he had a family thing, he
Oh
had
my
an
God.
emergency, or the classic, soon. It was always soon, but soon never came. And somewhere between the late night calls, the excuses, the constant sexual pressure,
You
and the
gave
growing
up.
pit in my stomach, something in me began to shift.
You didn't like him.
Something wasn't right with Michael,
Yeah.
and I felt it, long before I admitted it. My friends had been warning me for weeks. Every time Michael dodged a meetup,
Yeah.
every time he gave some vague excuse about his broken camera, every time he pushed for explicit photos but
It's
refused to show
weird.
so much as half his face, my friends would exchange looks. Does he not show himself on video call at all? One of them asked one night while...
Yeah, that's weird, right? It's a man. He has a man voice. So my presumption is that yes, he is a man. So all he has to do is show his face and boom. Wow, one of the red flags is gone. But instead, he doesn't show his face. And the only reason I can imagine that he doesn't do that is because he doesn't think his face is attractive enough to pull women in. Like, what? Man, listen, you can't be that bad looking, okay? You can't be, listen. Apparently, you're a good conversationalist, you're attentive, you're respectful. So, I don't know why you think your face would be a big turnoff if you're all of those. At least now that you're in this relationship, show your face. And maybe stop asking her to do explicit pictures. Or maybe you could be the gateway. Maybe you show your body, she'll show hers. I don't know.
we were reviewing in the living room.
Yeah?
Not even a quick flash of his face, another added. I shrugged. His phone got stolen. I reminded them
God.
for maybe the 10th time that month, and his laptop camera is broken. They stared at me like I had just announced I believed in unicorns.
Is this
"Yuri,
AI?
come on," one of them said gently. "If he really wanted to see you, he would find a way. Even a 10-year-old laptop has a camera.
Yeah.
Something's off." I knew they were right. Deep down, I felt it too. But I kept defending him. I kept telling myself he wouldn't call me every day if he wasn't serious.
Yeah,
I
he
kept
might be
insisting he was
serious
just
about
going through something
something.
personal. I kept believing the version of the person he pretended to be. Then came December, weeks before Christmas, with that stupid mix of hope and denial swirling in my chest. I finally told him, "Come over, meet my family, spend Christmas with us."
That's a
He
lot.
sounded thrilled. He said yes instantly.
Wow, okay.
No hesitation or excuses.
That's a
For the
sign.
first time, I let myself believe that maybe everything would pay off in the end.
Maybe.
I pictured a sweet Christmas morning introduction, a cheesy meet my boyfriend moment,
That's
a
weird.
fresh start,
Yeah.
maybe even something real.
No.
But the day before our meetup, everything
What
shattered.
happened?
I remember sitting on the condo couch reviewing flashcards when he called me. His breathing was shaky and uneven. At first, I thought he was just stressed. Then I realized he was crying.
Oh shit.
"Can we talk?" he whispered. Something in me went cold. It took a while for him to choke it out, but when he
What?
finally did, the words hit me like a punch straight to the stomach.
What?
"I'm a catfish." My heart dropped. He
How?
confessed everything. The photos, fake, taken from an Indonesian influencer he'd been pretending to be. His name, fake. His work, fake. His nationality, he lied about everything.
Okay.
My head was spinning so hard, I thought I would throw up. I felt my skin crawl, and my face drain of color.
I mean, I guess.
It was like he peeled off a mask I didn't even know he was wearing.
Okay.
And then, because apparently the universe wanted the moment to be even worse, he sent me a picture of his real face.
Okay, what is it?
He claimed he didn't lie about being 24. But honestly, I've seen uncles in their late 30s who looked younger than
Damn!
that. In that moment, my brain connected all the dots. The way he pushed for explicit photos. The way he'd get sulky and aggressive when I refused.
Yeah.
The way he'd avoid meeting up. Knowing what he really looked like, what he really was, made all his past behavior 10 times more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When I told him I wanted to break up, he snapped. He said, "So you're just like the other girls. You only liked me because of the pictures of the guy I used. You never cared about me. You're no different."
Yeah.
I was stunned. He lied to me, deceived me, manipulated me, yet somehow I became the villain.
I mean...
He ranted and I cried. He blamed me, then he apologized, and then he begged. He guilt-tripped, like a full cycle of emotional manipulation condensed into 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then came the most unhinged part of it all.
What?
He said, "Please just let me stay with your family on Christmas.
I
already told my parents I won't be home. I have nowhere else to go." I stared at my phone in disbelief. Absolutely not. I muted him. I ignored every message, blocked the numbers, refused to let his chaos bleed into my holiday. And I had a peaceful Christmas with my family, the kind of Christmas I needed. But if things had truly ended there, I wouldn't be writing this.
Oh no, what did he do?
Because Michael didn't stay gone. He didn't accept the breakup. He didn't disappear quietly. And the worst part was still coming. For almost a year, life felt normal again. I focused on myself, my hobbies, and my friends. I became active on Instagram again, something I had stopped doing while dealing with the emotional fallout of Michael's lies.
Yeah.
I started posting selfies, little life updates, even some cosplay photos I was proud of. It felt good to exist online without feeling watched.
That's
but
good.
the one thing I forgot, Michael and I still followed each other.
Okay.
It didn't even cross my mind until it was too late.
You think it would
One
earlier.
night, after posting a few stories, nothing dramatic, just a selfie and a behind the scenes of a new cosplay, I got a notification.
What?
One message request. Michael. He replied to my story. "Hey, how have you been?"
Good.
Just reading his name made something cold crawl up my spine. I didn't open the message. I didn't even breathe for a second. I just locked my phone and tossed it aside, like the words would burn me if I looked at them for too long. I tried to ignore it, but the notifications kept coming. Every few hours, another message. Eventually, I got so sick of it.
Why
I
don't you
opened our
just
chat.
delete it?
The moment I did, my entire body went
What?
cold. Because sitting there, sent
You
just
want
minutes
a
earlier,
picture?
was a photo of the front of our house.
Shit!
My parents weren't home. I felt like the air was being sucked out of my lungs. My fingers moved on instinct.
What?
I locked all the doors in the house, ran upstairs, shut my bedroom door, and locked that too.
Good.
Then I called the police. While I was on the phone, trying to speak without my voice cracking, I heard knocking.
Take a picture of all the messages.
Pounding. He was outside and yelling my name. He yelled, "Please just open the door. We can talk."
No!
His voice was desperate
don't do
and
that.
unhinged, a tone I had never heard before. I held my phone so tightly I thought it might crack. I crouched beside my bed, trying not to make a sound while the dispatcher kept me calm, step by step. "We're on the way. Don't come out. Stay on the line." It felt like hours, even though it was probably just minutes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we lived close to a police
That's
station.
good. I don't know
I heard
even how
footsteps
close
outside,
I am
an
to
officer
one.
shouting, and then finally, silence. They arrested him.
Okay.
When they came to the door to check on me, I finally unlocked it, still shaking. The officer who talked to me had a serious look on his face.
What?
The officer told me he was holding a knife.
Shit!
I had to grip the door frame to stay upright.
What the
He
fuck?
came to my house with a knife.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he meant to threaten me, hurt me, or hurt himself, but none of the possibilities made me feel any better.
Yeah.
They were all terrifying. Because of that, I had no choice but to tell my parents everything.
Did
every
you?
lie he told, and every red flag I ignored. They scolded me, of course, for trusting someone online and for
Yeah.
hiding it from them. But underneath the worry and anger, they were relieved that I was alive.
Yeah.
My mom hugged me like I came home from war. Thinking back on the words, "he was holding a knife," still give me the chills.
Man. Oh, shit. I forgot there's a fourth story. Shit. Wait, no. I may have to talk about this one while it's here. So, like, damn. Like, wow. Like, come on, man. Like, did you really need to lie about everything? Like, how bad was your life that you thought it would be such a turn off? Like, you literally told us you're a catfish, but like, were you? You were still a man pretending to be a different man, I guess. Like, how old did you look? Right? Like, how old did you look? Also, you live with your parents. I don't know how old you are, but I cannot assume that you're like 58 and living with your parents. Your parents would kick you out at that point, I think. So, like, possibility, you're in your like late 20s, early 30s. So, like, I don't know. I can't imagine that you look that repulsive that no woman would want to fuck you. You need to have more self-confidence, man. Like, listen, she ignored multiple red flags just to see you. I guarantee that if you explained why you used somebody else's picture, it would be fine. Okay? Take a shower, put on some moisturizer, maybe shave any bad hair. You'll look good enough to like somebody will like you. Like you didn't have to go to this creepy sort of extreme where you're outside somebody's house with a knife. And like you tried. Like, I'm gonna be honest. When the narrator said, "Oh, he told me trying," I honestly thought that you were going to make up a lie about how, "Oh, my dog died, so I can't come on Christmas." But no, you just said the truth. And you said it in the worst way possible, but still. My only idea on why he would do any of this is because he thought that his life was so pathetic, nobody would want him. And that's just real depressing both ways. But, still, don't go to Dale's houses with knives. And if you were like, if you met up with her if you met up with her earlier, then I don't know, there's a chance you would have gotten some action, okay? She said she wasn't comfortable with explicit pictures, not that she wasn't comfortable with sex. So all you would have had to do was take off the mask a little sooner, and maybe you could have gotten some action, I don't know. But yeah, it is time for story number 4.
I've never been a big dating app guy. Maybe a little bit in college, but mostly Tinder when I was messing around.
Okay.
After that, I had a 4-year relationship. I didn't really know how to go out and flirt anymore. I didn't really have game anymore. So
What
I was
even
on Tinder
is
for a
game?
bit, just testing the waters as a freshly single guy for a bit, and going out with my single friends a lot. But when it came time to start seriously dating again, the easy answer was of course a serious dating app.
What?
Hinge was the one everyone recommended for finding quality women looking to actually date.
What did that
So
mean?
I got on there.
Quality
I got
women.
a few matches in the first few days. One was a really pretty girl named Jenna.
Okay.
She was this short Italian-looking girl with black hair, tan skin, and she looked like she worked out.
Okay.
We seemed to hit it off immediately in the chat.
What did that mean?
After like 10 messages from both sides, she asked for my Instagram, saying she hates opening the Hinge app and would rather talk there.
How
So I
hard is
gave
the
it to her.
Hinge app?
And moments later, I got a follow request from her account. Her username was JennaX1 with 3 A's or something like that.
Okay.
She had like 2,000 followers,
Damn.
she followed 200 people, and she had 2 posts.
That's
Both posts
weird.
were her taking a selfie in the mirror.
Only
She
2
admittedly
posts.
looked good. The posts got a lot of likes and comments.
Yeah, I
All
bet.
thirsty-looking guys by the looks of it, though. She had a story up, and I clicked on it, and it was her at the gym taking a mirror selfie.
Okay.
Also looked good. She DM'd me right away, and we took the conversation from there. We continued talking about the same stuff we left off at, the gym, traveling, and we found that we related pretty well, and surprisingly, we agreed to meet for a spontaneous drink at a bar in town that night. She said she was in the same town as me, which was convenient, so we planned for 9 p.m. I knew the bar we were going to quite well, and I kinda knew the bartenders, so I decided to go a little early.
Okay, you're in cahoots
The bar
with
was
the
slightly
bar.
busy, but there were open bar stools at the bar, so I sat at one, seated away from people. It was like 8:50. The
Okay.
usual bartender came over and greeted me, and she
Hey.
gave me an espresso martini. I casually took some sips and DM'd Jenna that I was there, but that she can take her time. Then I
Okay.
went through her
You
profile
really
a little
shouldn't
more.
say that.
I went to her tagged pictures. There were none. I went through the comments again,
There
and there
were
truly
not?
was not a single comment from a female.
Yeah.
It was all dudes.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
hoped that wasn't a red flag that she got around.
It probably
Then, around
is.
this time, a man sat down on the bar stool next to me
No.
and greeted me, saying, "How you doing?" And
No.
I nodded with a smile.
Okay, buddy.
I went back to looking at my phone, but the man next to me continued to engage in conversation.
Yeah.
He asked if I come to this bar often because he recognized me. This is when I took a closer look at him.
What?
He was maybe like 38, just slightly gray, kind of overweight, and a patchy beard that he definitely should have shaved.
Rude,
I
but
didn't
okay.
recognize him at all, though. I told him, yeah, I come here once in a while. He then reached out his hand for a handshake and introduced himself as Rob.
Rob.
Oh, brother, I thought to myself. I wasn't in the mood for this. But I shook his hand.
What
and
are
introduced
you in the
myself as
mood
well.
for?
Around now, the bartender came over and said, "Finally decided to get a drink, I see," to this guy.
Okay.
He gave a weird, subtle laugh, but that kind of made me think for a bit.
What?
Was he already here? And he just came up to the bar to talk to me? I
Maybe.
DM'd Jenna again, saying, "Help me, this weird guy I think is hitting on me," as a joke. But I realized my previous DM to her was left unseen.
Oh no.
I asked her if she was on her way. Then I went back to looking at her profile.
What?
And I decided to check her following list. And
What?
I realized she didn't follow a single female.
Yeah.
Only dudes. What kind of girl doesn't follow any of her girlfriends?
Somebody
This
without
was
any
weird.
girlfriends.
Was
Duh.
I catfished?
Maybe.
The annoying guy to my right kept trying to talk to me. I had to tell him 1 second, please, as I tried calling Jenna through Instagram.
Oh no.
She didn't pick up. It was past 9 o'clock, and it seemed like she was ghosting me. And I also just...
Okay, so if this is a catfish, I'm kind of confused about how it's done. Because you said there were 2 pictures of her, right? Well, then usually what a catfish would do is, what I think they do, is they find a hot sale picture online, and then they use that picture as the profile picture. So, but there were two pictures, apparently, so does that mean that there's an actual sale? But yeah, no, the obvious answer to the question of, like, what kind of sale only follows dudes? Somebody who doesn't have female friends. That's what.
Felt like this profile was fake.
Yeah.
I went to Hinge to find that her profile was gone, like I expected. Yup, I got catfished. I asked the bartender for the check, and then the Rob guy said, "Leaving already? Where are you from?"
No.
I said, "Yeah, I gotta get going."
Why would I tell you?
I didn't care to explain the situation to this guy. To be honest, I was kind of annoyed at how outwardly he went out of his way to talk to me. As I got the check, this guy would still keep trying to talk to me, even telling me I should stick around and that the hot chicks come around this time.
Okay.
I thought he was weird, and I was kind of just being short with him at this point.
Okay.
I may sound like a douche,
yeah,
but if you met the guy and experienced the way he approached, you'd have been annoyed too.
I
As
guess.
I said bye to the bartender and turned to leave, I felt a tight grip on my left wrist
Okay,
suddenly.
no, you're
I turned
weird
to see
now.
the man had his hand wrapped around my wrist.
Okay, buddy. Yeah,
I said,
no.
"What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
Loud enough for other people to notice and turn their heads. He started whispering to me and making a weird face.
Are you Jenna?
He said, "I'm Jenna.
Damn!
Sorry, please don't go."
Why didn't you tell me
Disgusting.
that?
Like I needed to take a shower. I felt like throwing up.
Yeah.
I felt violated.
Damn.
I broke free of his grip and hurried out of the bar to my car.
You don't have
It
to
was a
pretend to
quiet
be a
drive
woman.
home. I didn't play music. I didn't call anyone because I was still taking it in, and it felt embarrassing.
Yeah?
When I got home, I collapsed into bed and stared at the ceiling for a bit, just absorbing what happened. I went to Instagram to go block the Jenna account, but it appeared he already blocked me.
Yeah.
Or he disabled the Instagram account entirely. This quickly became an experience I just wanted to put behind me.
Well, yeah, you should.
I turned on the TV and just tried to move on. I'd tell people tomorrow. And after
Or
I turned
not
off
at
the
all.
light is the part that made me hate having a bedroom on the first floor.
What?
There was an aggressively loud bang on my window.
No!
The blinds were closed and I couldn't see to the other side. Instead of yelling "Who's there?" I decided to stay quiet.
Who would yell that?
I watched the blinds in horror. And then there was a voice on the other side.
Oh!
A man's voice saying my name, Scott.
Oh,
over
no.
and over
No.
again. I refused to acknowledge it.
You don't have
But he
to,
knew
no.
I was in there. He could see the light of the TV.
Oh
He
my
might have
god.
followed me without me realizing.
Okay.
He just kept saying Scott.
How did he
He
know
had to
the
have said it
door?
like 10 times before it stopped. I stayed in my bedroom the rest of the night, and the next morning, I lifted the blind to see this.
Oh,
A note on the other side of the glass, saying, "I'll be watching you." I didn't leave my apartment the rest of the weekend. I moved a few days later.
and you didn't tell the police. That is actually, like, not good. I don't know if that's illegal, but it honestly probably should be. God. Okay, my god. Okay, well, that's horrifying. But also, like, come on, man. You just gonna tell me you're Jenna? So, you're a man who likes men, and the way you decided to attract a man is by... The way you decided to attract a man is by pretending to be a woman and trying to go on a date? Well, what did you think was gonna happen when you walked into the bar as a man and, didn't say anything immediately? Like, what, you thought you guys were just gonna talk? No, this guy was interested in a woman, okay? Listen, I don't know if Hinge allows same-sex dating, but I'm sure that you are not ugly enough to not attract any men, okay? And you did not have to do this creepy shit about the, I'll be watching you, okay? He wasn't interested, but I bet there's somebody who would be. Please, guys, you don't have to be creepy and do this. there are plenty of fish in the sea. And trust me, those fish would do anybody, okay? Please, guys, stop doing this. It's sad, it's creepy, and it's not a good look on the app, okay? So, yeah. That is all I have to say, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!